Today we will have a look at this 1/350th scale Hasegawa model ship. It first came out in 2010 and it is unchanged since that date. The ship. The USS Gambier Bay CVE-73 was a Casablanca-class escort carrier of the US Navy in World War II. She was sunk in the Battle of Samar during the bigger Battle of Leyte Gulf. She is infamous for being the only American carrier sunk by enemy surface fire during the war. The ship was commissioned in December 1943 after being built by the Kaiser Shipbuilding Company in Vancouver. This company has built 50 of these ships during the war. These carriers measured 156 meters and had a displacement of 77,800 long tons. So they were fairly small. The Casablanca class could reach a speed of 19 knots and had a maximum range of around 10,000 nautical miles. They carried a complement of 860 crew members and 28 planes. The planes reached the flight deck with help of 2 elevators and were launched with help of 1 catapult. Armament consisted of 1 5-inch dual-purpose gun at the stern. The AA suite consisted of 8 dual 40mm Bofors guns and 20 20mm single Oerlikon cannons. In this post-war image you can see a part of the reserve fleet comprised of Casablanca-class carriers next to an Essex-class carrier in the foreground. It shows how small they were in comparison. World War II operations. I don't go into detail because that would lead us too far, and there are a lot of books and movies that do a better job at telling this history better than I can. After various operations in the Pacific, Gambier Bay joined Rear Admiral Sprague's task force off Leyte. This unit comprised 6 escort carriers screened by destroyers and destroyer escorts. It was known as Taffy 3. They provided air superiority over the Leyte Gulf. Taffy 3 steamed up to the island of Samar and guarded this area. Meanwhile, the Japanese Navy made up plans to destroy the US fleet in Leyte Gulf. One of the Japanese fleets, Center Force, moved toward the island of Samar. Early in the morning on the 25th of October, Taffy 3 discovered the Japanese threat. Center Force, comprised of battleships like Yamato, Nagato, Haruna and Kongo, heavy cruisers, light cruisers and a lot of destroyers. Against this force, Taffy 3 was heavily outgunned. A fierce battle followed in which the carriers launched their planes and the destroyers tried to help the escort carriers. Gambier Bay was hit by shells of a Japanese ship. It's unclear which one. Some reports say it was the heavy cruiser Shikuma, but it could also be a hit from Yamato or Kongo. Soon Gambier Bay was dead in the water, and finally she capsized around 9 o'clock. Around 900 sailors could be rescued. 3 other US ships were sunk in this battle. Luckily for the Americans, they won the Battle of Leyte Gulf later. It was the last major sortie of the Japanese Navy apart from the suicidal attack of Operation Tengo. If you want to learn more about the Battle of Samar and naval history in general, I can recommend the YouTube channel of Dragon Evil. See the link in the description. The model. This model kit comes in a big box. On top, nice box art of the ship on the high seas. On the sides we can see photos of the finished model. The box is top opening, and after doing so it reveals all the goodies inside. A lot of hours of model building are waiting. First we will find the manual in the box. It's a booklet and shows step by step what you need to do to finish this kit successful. We will have a look later in the manual itself. Next up is this booklet, and it shows a short history of the ship. It's written in a few languages: English, Japanese, and I think that's all. The next two pieces are optional PE threads. They are also made by Hasegawa. There are two sets, a basic and a more complex one. You will get radars, propellers, gun shields, railings, safety nets and nameplates. They will surely improve your final result, but will raise the price significantly. I paid around 70 euros for the kit itself, but this price will double if you buy the additional PE and the additional wooden deck. I didn't buy the wooden deck myself. Next up is a big poster of the ship in peril, a nice addition for your modeler's man cave or lady cave. We can see the Gambier Bay, a lot of destroyer escorts, planes in the air, Japanese ships in the background, and heavy fire on the flight deck. So first put this aside. Two small decal sheets. The first one clearly shows the 73, the number of the ship, some flags, and on the other side we have US roundels for the model planes. Here we see the first plastic part. The hull comprises of two parts, a lot of raised detail on the hull, maybe a little bit too heavy these raised lines, but under few coats of paint the effect will be less pronounced. Here are some pictures of a Casablanca class ship which show the real hull. After removing this piece of cardboard, we reach the rest of the sprues and another poster in color which shows the camouflage paint scheme. After removing this piece of cardboard, we reach the rest of the sprues and another poster in color which shows the camouflage paint scheme. In the manual there is also a page with stencils in the same scale to make your masking easier. There is another page with the paint scheme in the booklet, but it's not in color. On the other side of the poster we can see the ship fitted with PE parts and an example for the rigging of the ship. The sprues. I already opened up the bags containing the sprues. Here we have the C sprue. It contains the parts of the flight deck. You can see it's in two pieces. Here we have three parts. It's G sprue, two pieces with some bulkheads and parts for the stand. Sprue F contains some bulkheads. Here we have sprue J. It contains part of the bridge. Sprue B, parts for the deck and some parts for the hull. These are the gun emplacements and are part of sprue D. Here we have sprues AQ, three parts, and they contain all the parts you need to assemble the planes. There are 6 Wildcats and 3 Avenger bombers you can build. If you want the full complement of 28 planes, you have to look somewhere else to build up these planes. And these are the last sprues in grey plastic. Sprues AP, 4 parts. And they contain a lot of small parts like life rafts, guns, a few boats and some other small pieces to build up the ship. And then, almost at the end, we can see some clear parts. They are used to build the canopy of the plane. And you will get an anchor chain in the box. That's it for this unboxing. I don't have a starting date planned for this kit, but stay tuned at this channel for more updates about this beautiful Hasegawa kit of a famous ship. Not as glorious as a Bismarck or Yamato, but definitely worth your effort, I think. Please consider subscribing using the link on screen.